This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
In business, there's no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. When you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. Each package moves through a secure, nationwide network tracked from dock to door with affordable, upfront pricing and delivery you can depend on. Because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS Ground Advantage.
Hey, and welcome to the Short Stuff. I'm Josh, and there's Chuck, and this is Short Stuff. And this is a good one because we are squeezing it in. 5 Lazarus species animals starting now.
Right. If you're wondering what a Lazarus species is, we've talked about it before with the first entry that we'll talk about in a second, but Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead in the Bible, if you believe that stuff. Mm-hmm. And a Lazarus species is an organism that has been brought back from extinction, or that we thought rather was extinct. Not one that's like threatened and we do a good job with it, but people are like, well, there's no more of those. And then years later, someone's like, oh my gosh, there's another one of those. Right.
And we actually did a whole episode on one of these already, the coelacanth.
That's right. That's what I was referring to. Number 1.
Yeah, it has like an amazing story behind it, which we'll briefly go over again, because it has 4 lobes, meaning it had like kind of these proto-limbs. And when they found it first in the fossil record in the 19th century, it was, a 400 million year old fossil. And they're like, this is the missing link between, animals in the sea and animals on the ground. And we love the coelacanth for this reason, but it's long dead. I think the most recent fossil they'd found was from 66 million years ago. So we just thought it was another very, very interesting prehistoric fish.
Right. And it was very sad to not be able to study those in modern times. And then boom, not too modern, but in 1938, they caught one, or they discovered one off the coast of South Africa. And that was a big, big deal. And then since then, they've gotten quite a few more of these live specimens on record.
If I remember correctly, it was a woman scientist, too, who was the one who recognized it for what it was and was like, this is a big deal.
Yeah, aren't they like, not bottom dwellers, but they're pretty deep guys, right?
Yes. And I remember, they see them enough that now that we're like, okay, these are definitely not extinct. They're still around. I think they just don't inhabit areas we frequent very much.
And they're like, this is clearly not trying to grow arms and legs, but nice effort.
Right. So we got one under our belt. Chuck, what about the takahe?
The takahe is native to New Zealand, one of our favorite places. Hello, our Kiwi friends. And this is a flightless bird that's a member of the rail family. It's very pretty, about the size of a goose. They're kind of blue-green.
They're very pretty.
They're really, really nice looking. And even from the beginning, they were really rare. I think they were discovered by European explorers in 1847, and they were never abundant.
No, apparently, after the second specimen was found, only 4 were found in the 19th century. And when the guy who found the second one described it, he said that these are gone. Like this, whatever I just found is maybe the last of it. He said it's unlikely any further living specimens will be found. And that was that. They closed the book on it. But 50 years later, there's another guy named Jeffrey Orbell, who was like, I for some reason, I cannot accept that the takahe is just gone forever, and set out searching for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and I'm glad people like Jeffrey Orbell are out there, because Jeffrey Orbell found one of these things on the South Island in 1948 of New Zealand. And, this kind of brings up something we did mention at the beginning, like, how can science be wrong about something being extinct? And, it's fairly easy to happen. The world is a big place. The earth is a big place. And they do their best. But, at a certain point, when something isn't around for a certain amount of time, they get together and they feel comfortable saying this thing is extinct. And, if it comes back to life as a Lazarus species, and that's great. It's not like science hangs their head in shame, like, oh, the
Right.
coelacanth is back.
Yeah.
But it is sometimes tough to see, especially if it's a rare thing to begin with, if they're truly extinct.
Yeah, the International Union for Conservation of Nature is the ones responsible for declaring something endangered or extinct in the wild. And their definition of extinct is that when there's no reasonable doubt that the last individual has died, when exhaustive surveys in known and or expected habitat at appropriate times, diurnal, seasonal, annual, throughout its historic range have failed to record an individual. So it's not just like nobody's reported one of these things for a while. It's like they go out and really try to find it. And if they can't find it, they're like, well, I guess it's extinct. Then they hang their heads in shame.
That's right. I saw a great meme the other day that's very appropriate for these times here in the United States. Something about science is not truth. Science is the search for truth. And basically when things, it was much more succinct than this, but when things change, science continues to search for that truth. It's not flipping and flopping on the truth.
Right.
Let's just leave it at that and take a commercial break. Hey everybody, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tide Evo because it represents over 10 years of innovation and product development. Tide Evo is a first-of-its-kind technology where tens of thousands of minuscule fibers are spun together to form a 6 times powerful layer packed with scrubbers, brighteners, pre-treaters, and fresheners. And that's going to deliver a breakthrough clean that's so powerful it feels like magic.
Yeah, it is kind of like magic. Tide Evo is revolutionary. A 100% concentrated, waterless laundry tile that's made of compressed microfiber soap layers rather than liquid or powder. And it's not like pods or sheets because it uses 6 layers of detergent fibers to deliver superior cold water cleaning without plastic packaging of any kind. And it provides a mess-free, lightweight solution that dissolves lickety-split. So whenever you run into a laundry challenge, turn to Tide Evo. It's revolutionary. It's magic. Try new Tide Evo. Real laundry magic.
Everyone knows winter is the real mess maker. You don't need WeatherTech floor liners for summer unless you hit the beach and half the beach ends up back in your car or the campsite dirt ends up in your trunk. Then you'd want a cargo liner or a road trip goes sideways. Lemonade spills, ketchup goes rogue, ice cream drips. Yeah, you'd be pretty happy about those WeatherTech seat protectors. So just to be clear, as the mud you're inevitably going to step in this summer, you don't need WeatherTech unless you plan on doing summer. Visit WeatherTech.com today.
Okay, Chuck, so we're back with, I think, my favorite.
It's my favorite too.
Good. We're talking about the Lord Howe Island stick insect.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Not a great name. There's a better name for it, don't you think?
Yeah, leave it to Australia to have an insect called a tree lobster. Lord Howe Island is off the coast of Australia, kind of midway between Brisbane and Sydney. Mm-hmm. And these things were very common on Lord Howe Island out there in the Pacific. And this is a really interesting story. There was a shipwreck off the, actually kind of on the island. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows that ships, especially back in the olden days, I think it was 1918. This says 1920s, but they were off by a few years. Were just full of rats. And these rats descended upon the island and really, really overtook this island in a big way.
They were like tree lobsters, delish.
Yeah.
So they actually ate all the tree lobsters on the island. Ate them all. The rats did. The rats had no natural predators on the island, so their population boomed. And they also ate to extinction all sorts of bird species, lizard species, a bunch of other ones. But in particular, this tree lobster, which you don't find elsewhere. And they thought like this thing was just endemic only to Lord Howe Island. So shortly after the 20s, they were like, the Lord Howe Island stick insect is now extinct. But then they were very surprised in 1960 when they found a few corpses. They were corpses, but they weren't like obviously 40-year-old desiccated corpses. They were fairly recent corpses. So they're like, wait a minute, these things are still around. And I guess somebody thought to go look on another nearby island. It's like Pyramid Island, I believe, something like that. and they found a new population of these things. Just a handful, but a few of them perched in a tea tree on the highest point of this island nearby.
That's right. And so they started breeding them in captivity and training them to be able to raise their middle finger because they have undertaken the Lord Howe Island Rodent Eradication Project, where they are spreading 42 tons of poison cereal pellets and 28,000 bait stations across the island to rid this island of those rats. And this was a couple of years ago in 2019. And the most recent article I read said that sometime this year, they were going to reintroduce, like all the rats should be gone. And if there are any few rats left, these tree lobsters can go back and give them the finger.
Very nice. They're spreading poison quisp on the island.
Ooh.
For the rats. It's just irresistible.
Oh, man, I'd have a hard time with that, too.
I know. You'd be like, I know it's poisonous, but I just can't help myself.
I know. If it was Captain Crunch peanut butter, forget about it. I'm a dead man.
Yeah. So there's another one. Hats off to the Lord Howe Island stick insect. We're going to take our leave and wish it luck and head on over to Peru, where the Peruvian yellow-tailed woolly monkey was thought to have been extinct. It was first described in 1812 just from a pelt. Yeah.
Warm?
I think so, yeah. A little yellowish. But then only just a few times in the century that followed had they actually been seen and described by travelers, I guess scientists in Peru. And then the last one was seen until in 1926. And by that point, the science was like, I think these things are gonzo.
That's right. But not so, because in 1974, they found one in Brazil. And this was being kept as a pet. And it turns out these things were being kept as pets kind of in different places all over the world. And this is one really interesting case where the illegal pet trade kind of brought, in a roundabout way, something back from extinction.
Yeah, they think there's maybe fewer than 1,000 of them in the wild, which is still not terribly bad considering something was considered extinct for a little while. But apparently it was, and this is kind of like one of the definitions of a Lazarus species, it was news to science that this thing was not extinct, but to the local population in Peru who lived, in the same area as these monkeys, they were well aware that these things were around. They just hadn't heard that science didn't know, or else I'm sure they would have told somebody.
That's right.
What about, this is my second favorite, Chuck. What about you?
I can't believe we're going to do 5 in a shorty, but here we go with the robust red horse. Mm-hmm. It's a pale pink, it has pale pink fins, it's sort of stout, and it's not very remarkable looking. If you look at a robust red horse, you think that thing is misnamed because it's just sort of plain looking. It's
an ugfish is what they should call it.
Yeah, it's not the best looking fish.
It's got a great Latin name, Moxostoma robustum.
It's a good band name.
Yeah.
Or maybe an album title.
Yeah. Prog rock for sure. Or maybe like a Mastodon album.
Yeah, exactly. This was first described by Edward Drinker Cope, a naturalist from Europe in 1870, based on just this one fish that he found in a river in North Carolina. And unfortunately, that fish was destroyed because that was the last one that anyone saw for 122 years. Yeah,
so everybody's like, well, it's extinct. We're not even sure it ever exactly lived. We got to take this Cope fella's word for it. And he's popped up before. I can't put my finger on it, but we've talked about him before. But then in 1980, in 1985, and then I believe also in 1991, people started reporting this. And somebody was like, you know what? I think that is Cope's robust red horse fish. They started finding them in the Savannah and Petey rivers in Georgia and South Carolina, I think. And so they actually made a deliberate effort. They launched an effort 20 years ago to find some mating pairs of the robust red horse in the Savannah River and basically start breeding them in captivity. And I read that I think in 2015, Chuck, they released some, and they recently identified the first wild juveniles that had been born to this restored population of robust red horses.
Amazing. Big
Isn't that
comeback.
great? Huge comeback from the dead, basically.
Yeah, I love it.
Same here. So that's it for short stuff, everybody. If you want to look up some more Lazarus species, then they're out there, and it's thrilling. Every single one of them has a great story behind it. So go amuse yourself with that. And in the meantime, Short Stuff says goodbye.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.